Recently, Tower Defense X released an Oil Derrick tower that's supposed to give cash per second, but this is possibly the least economy tower in the game. In this video, I'll be going over the stats of the tower, why it doesn't compare well to other towers, and possible ways it can be improved. As a quick rundown, Oil Derrick is a tower with a 3 placement limit that gives cash per second. On the top path, it gives more cash per second. On the bottom path, it gains several bonuses such as cash per wave, a win bonus, and cash per damage. But these buffs don't stack, and we will get into the specific stats now. As you can see in the background, Oil Derrick has one of the biggest placement hitboxes in the game, excluding Warship, and also a placement limit of only 3. The base level costs 500 and gives 35 cash every 9 seconds, which would take a total of over 2 minutes to be able to equal out. Level 1 on the top path costs 400 and increases the cash by 15 and the intervals between cash given by 1. It takes a total of 213 seconds to equal this upgrade out. The next upgrade costs 1,500 and it gives 75 more cash per interval. It takes 160 seconds to return. Already, this tower takes a huge amount of time to give its money back, and the thing is, it has very low health, so it can very easily die on harder modes before it's able to even equal out. Level 1 on the bottom path costs 1,750 and it gives 300 cash per wave. This makes it 6 waves to equal this upgrade out. The next upgrade costs 5,650 and it gives 850 more cash per wave, and this takes 7 waves to equal out. These two upgrades are much easier to equal out compared to the other ones because you don't have to stall, which is one of the biggest flaws of this tower. TDX already has a very bad grind, and making it where you have to play super slowly to effectively use this tower just makes this issue worse. The third upgrade on the top path costs 6,500 and it gives 100 more cash per wave and reduces the interval by 1 second. This upgrade takes a whole 455 seconds to max out, almost 7 minutes. The next upgrade costs 19,000 and increases the cash per interval by 110, making it 120 seconds before it gives the cash back. The next upgrade costs 61,500. It gives an extra 140 cash per interval and reduces the interval time by 1. This upgrade takes 2,635 seconds to equal out, which is way too much time. If you bought this tower and immediately maxed out, it would take 1,222 seconds, which is nearly 20 minutes to return the cash back, which each wave reducing this timer by about 12 seconds. You can clearly see why this is a bad economy tower just from the top path. This takes 20 minutes, which is almost as long, if not longer than most games, just to return. This tower is supposed to make money, but it can barely even make the money it costs back. Once again, this tower has extremely low health, less than 1,000, so if it dies, then it's not even going to have the chance to make the money back. Moving on the bottom path, the third upgrade costs 12 grand and gives a 0.02% cash per damage multiplier. Now, this means that when you deal damage to an enemy, it gives bonus cash. However, 0.02%. This isn't even 2%. This is like 1/100th of a percent. This is nothing. Like this literally does nothing. It just doesn't do anything. The number is so small that it actively does nothing. Next upgrade costs 37 grand and it only gives 80 more cash per interval, so who knows how long it takes. It ups the cash per damage multiplier to 0.06%, which is 0.06%. It's 3 times lower than the last level, but the number is so small it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. Even if it was 6%, that is still nothing. That's still 6%. That means nothing because you're only spending tens of thousands on this upgrade. Maxing this thing out costs $75,000, and I don't think it changes any of the stats except makes the 0.06% a 0.13%, which is still, this is not even 1%. This is a little over 1/10 of 1%. It also gives a 200 cash bonus when you win, but 200% really isn't a lot, especially on the bigger modes like expert, where you'll be getting like 2,000, so it'll give like a less than 10% bonus usually for basically ruining your economy. This is going to be detrimental. You can only place this at the end, and it can very easily die, because this is the worst economy tower in the game that it arguably actively ruins your economy. And the only way that this can be beneficial is for this bonus, which doesn't stack. You can't place 3 and then get 600%. No, it doesn't stack. For a tower this bad, you may think like, oh yeah, it probably doesn't really cost me. No, it costs crystals. But like, oh yeah, it probably doesn't cost me crystals like 1, 2, 3 grand. No, it costs 6,000, which is only 2 grand less than Behemoth. This costs 6,000 crystals. And only 1,500 Robux, $15 for this. This just get farm. Just get farm. Farm is a better economy tower that's actually usable if you don't pre-install the game. And like this thing, even if you stall the game, it still does nothing. Stalling the game doesn't fix the issue. This tower still gives nothing. Even if this tower was free, at the end of this 1 hour in this playthrough, this Oil Derrick generated, I'm pretty sure it's about 300 grand, which is 200 grand after you take out the prize. And this 200 grand isn't even enough to max out a helicopter. Just use Golden Mobster. Just don't even deal with this. Just use Golden Mobster. Oil Derrick generates 15 cash per second, but Golden Mobster constantly firing provides way more cash per second and costs $300 less, and is able to defend your base, and doesn't have a huge placement hitbox. Oil Derrick's top half max upgrade gives 80 cash per second. Golden Mobster is not even max and is cheaper and gives 200 cash per second and defend the base. How? And you can play 7 Golden Mobsters and only 3 Oil Derricks. And Golden Mobster also has the bounty ability, which completely outclass. What's better, 50% cash bonus or 0.06 cash bonus? Which one's better? Obviously the Golden Mobster. This thing is just weaker than Golden Mobster. It gives less cash, it can't defend, it just takes up a bunch of space, and every 200 gold bonus is nothing compared to the pain that having this tower will cost you. It takes up a whole slot, it takes up a ton of room, it gives no money, it costs a ton of money. This thing sucks, and Golden Mobster will be better in every situation. You don't even have to. This thing is. Golden Mobster is cheaper. Just use Golden Mobster and slap it down, and it will generate more money than this tower. Just use Golden Mobster. Please do not use this tower. This isn't even mentioning how Golden Mobster also gives that cash back. Where a tower dies, this thing gives cash back, which Oil Derrick doesn't. That's even worse. So obviously this tower is very, very weak. So how can it be improved? Idea number 1, add a minimum and a maximum. Having a minimum on this tower will make it actually useful when you're playing, because no one wants to stall out the game for 15 hours to generate money. So being able to have this tower still be at least usable when you skip the wave would be nice. And add a maximum so you can't just cheese the events like the Frosty event by healing a tower. This would make the tower actually usable and not broken if you just cheese stuff. Idea number 2, make top half useful. Top half takes over 24 minutes to make its money back and costs a crap ton of money. Just make it just gives no money. Just make it actually give money, and it just doesn't do anything. If this tower was free, it generates so little money that if this tower and all of its upgrades were free, I would still not bring in my loadout. Idea number 3, buff bottom path, 0.13% bonus for it. It's just not anything. 0.13% is not anything. Make it 13% and make it stackable. So you're spending this much and it will, maybe not 13%, maybe like reduce it like 5%, so it's a 15% bonus, which would actually, it's not a lot, but it would make it usable. and make it where the 200 bonus gold can also stack, because it's only 600, and these things are expensive, so it's not like you can like place down 3 and like quadruple your cash from easy mode. These things cost a lot of money, so you won't be able to just willy-nilly place them down. These improvements would make the tower actually usable, while also making it where you don't have to perma-stall the game to be able to use it. I'm sorry, but this game already has a slow grind and is already having an issue with so much slow gameplay, and to slow down your game to a slog this much and for the tower to still give nothing, it gives like, hold on, let's see, it gives 80 gold a second. 80 gold a second. You wanna know how much 80 cash a second is? Not a lot. After the end of my 1 hour in this playthrough, for a whole hour, this thing generated not even enough money to get a maxed out helicopter, and this costs 6,000 crystals in the shop. It would take... Farm is better. Farm is better. It provides much more consistency, doesn't take up as much space, and it isn't an active detriment. It's like 15k to max out farm. It gives 3 grand a wave. It gives like 30 grand per wave if you have 10 farms, which is much better than this thing. If you have all farms in just 10 waves, you get max out helicopter, compared to this thing. This thing, after a whole hour and 80 waves, I can't max out helicopter. Just 10 waves with all max out farms, I could at least get 1 helicopter. This thing can't earn crap. The thing is, after recording this whole video, it has been 8 hours since the update dropped. 8 hours, and they have done nothing to improve this. This tower needs a buff, and it needs not just a buff, but the concept of stalling the game itself is bad, and it needs to be improved. Like, this game is slow. It has slow grinding, and that's a big issue. So just make it have like a minimum or maximum. Make it like the critical tower defense 2 economy, where it gives a set amount of cash per second, and it has a limited amount of cash it can give throughout the waves, and if the wave ends, then it just gives the rest of the cash to you, and then it starts generating cash for the next wave. Like, this is a nightmare tower that costs crystals, and it has unique mechanics. However, these unique mechanics are so little, 0.13%, and is at so little to your economy. This is supposed to be like a very high-end economy tower, and it gives nothing, and doesn't utilize the unique mechanics, the gold wing bonus or the damage bonus has at all. It needs to utilize these mechanics more, especially on top path. This top path is just cash per second, which doesn't give anything right now, so I feel like they should add something to that.